We got a spicy one tonight, boys and girls, and a special guest coming up. Watch that intro. I'm going to be honest, probably the first time we are on time in like 2 years.
Yep.
What is up, Defects? We are back for another Monday Night Live. Good to see my boys in here. Good to see people in the chat. Let me say what up to my boy Guy Forge, starting out on the bottom down there. What's up, brother?
What's happening? What's up, Defects? This is exciting. I look forward to this every week, guys. So it's good to see both of you fellas. Good to see you well rested and ready to go. I'm excited.
I don't know about well rested.
Yeah, you're well rested. You're fine. I'm excited. So let's get this show on the road, as they say.
What up, Butch?
What is up, boys and girls? Excited for today's show. Like Matt said, a special guest. We got some old stories. We got some new stories. We got some books to show you. We got some more CGC drama that has nothing to do with the purple label, blue label thing. We got a lot going on. We got an exclusive story you guys are going to want to hear first. So
we got a bunch of stories. We got a bunch. CGC's been in our sites for the last couple of weeks. Some good, some bad. So, but yeah, this is gonna be a good night. Let's do our sponsors real quick, and then we'll bring in our guest. Who we got first? I can't find the graphics. Why can't I see them? There they are. Take it away.
Here we go, guys. Erod 212 at Express Comic Book Pressing for all your pressing and cleaning needs. Erod will not destroy your books like most of these guys out there right now. Submits to CGC and CBCS, and not only that, he's nice enough to pass along his discount along with that. But not only that, mention Defects 10 and get yourself 10% off. In Erod we trust. He will blaze your books, guys. And next up, everybody's favorite Beaver, Mutant Beaver Comics, one of the world's largest online retailers for exclusive variants. Defects 10 gets you 10% off. They ship worldwide. That's right, worldwide. So tell Pat and the B-Man the Defects sent you. Defects 10, guys. Whoa, slipping up.
Jay almost had the perfect game.
Almost. I was trying. I should have took the sip of water beforehand.
Yeah, you shouldn't have taken more than that.
Oh, and yes, Erod, thank you, Mike. Erod will be taking submissions at KingCon, guys. So you got a presser there. If you want to buy a book, you're not too sure about it, walk on over to Erod, ask him what he thinks about the defects, if they could be cleaned, if they could be pressed out, and submit your books, guys.
Look at this guy joining us from the West Coast.
Davis in the house.
We'll talk about Davis in a little bit. We got some announcements for later on, but let's not make the guests wait any longer. Jay, I know you like saying a certain whenever we talk about Swaggle, you said you have a catch line for him, so I'll let you bring him in.
Do I? I forget it. I was probably drunk.
He said I was probably drunk. He always says, my man Swaggle in the house.
Swaggle in the house.
What's up?
What's going on? A man with a lot going on right now.
Yeah. It's been busy time in Swaggle land, but yeah, I'm happy to hop on the channel and hang out with all you guys. I feel like of all the awesome comic book YouTubers, I feel like I have a special connection with all you, because when we were just starting all out, we all started right around the same time. And actually, the first stream I ever did, I shared the screen with Guy. Do you remember that?
There you go.
How about that?
Yeah. So that's so.
How about that?
Good to be.
Listen, Swag, we're the guys you want on your side.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But I'm excited. it's a good topic tonight. I'm looking forward to this.
It's been a while. We had you on. We did a recorded video with you. We did a recorded video with you, and then I was on your live show. But I don't think you've ever been on live with us, so it's nice to have you on with us. And regardless of you having stuff going on, which we'll get into a little bit later, it's just, I mean, either way, good part of the community, like you said, friend of the channel. So good to have another voice on here talking about, especially a topic like tonight, because I think there's going to be a lot of different opinions going on. So it's good to get 4 instead of 3. So
regardless of you having an Emmy sitting back there,
right.
You know, I'm happy to share the screen with you. So
it doesn't qualify me to talk about CGC.
Gotcha.
So, guys, if you don't know Swagglehaus Comics, his link is in the description. Go check that out. And we'll talk about his comic book a little later in the show.
And hold on a second. It's Swagglehaus, correct?
Swagglehaus.
It is Haas, but you know, we'll allow House. Everyone says House at this point.
House. I like it. Swagglehaus.
Look at the way it's spelled.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the House of Swag, bro. That's where you're broadcasting
the House of
from.
Swag, yeah.
That's it. He's got the sign back there. He's ready to go. So, and I must say, I think I was the first one to ever compliment Mickey on his electric sign.
This is true. This is definitely good, true trivia right there.
You know, right on the first one live to say anything. Maybe not in a comment or anything, but the first live person to say anything about that. But all right, guys. So as you can see from the thumbnail, we'll get right into this. And let me start by saying, I know we've done some CGC like the last 2 weeks, and now this is the 3rd week in a row, and it sounds like we're a bunch of CGC haters here. I would say that's not the truth. I won't speak for Mickey, but me, Guy, Jay, we use CGC exclusively. We think they get it right more often than they get it wrong by a wide margin. But clearly they make mistakes, and some mistakes are kind of to be expected. And then it comes to a scenario like this where it's something that has to be called out. And hopefully, I don't know if they can correct it, but we'll get into all that. But I just wanted to kind of preface that as this doesn't mean, you know, the last few weeks isn't us saying like fuck CGC, because we use them. You know, like I haven't even thought about using anyone else.
We haven't used them in a while.
We haven't used them in a while, but at the same time we haven't used anybody in a while.
I think everything's on pause getting graded right now. For me at least.
Correct. So I will say, like, I'll preface this whole thing with saying I do think CGC gets it right way more often than they get it wrong. You're talking about thousands and thousands of books per day, not per week, but per day that they go through. Having said that, you still have to call out the bullshit. So as you see on the thumbnail, there was a big slip up, and I will explain how. So first, let me credit the YouTuber that brought this to light. And I think it was a mixture of really good detective work and a little bit of luck as well, right? You got to have a little bit of both of those things to be good usually, right? And it's have it written down. His link is in the description. It's Keston's Old School Comic Books. That's the name of his channel. Definitely, he puts on a good show. Check him out after our show's over, of course. But he brought this to light, so I watched this whole video, took some stuff from it, tried to find out some more stuff on my own, just tried to corroborate some stuff, and here we are today. So this all starts with this comic right here that you see on the screen. This is a Golden Age comic, Startling Comics number 47, okay? This is 1947 Alex Schomburg bondage cover. He does a series of these bondage covers. I think number 49 is with the robot. That's kind of the one that most people have seen. That's kind of the money book, but I think all of the books kind of in this range, you know, 30 something to, you know, mid 40s or high 40s as far as issue number. They're books that people go after. Okay. So how this started is this book was up for sale on Heritage Auction. Okay. So Golden Age 9.6 white pager. That is like, where I didn't even know there was Golden Age 9.6s out there, let alone ones that actually had some meaning behind them. Okay, and you can see this is a clean book. You clearly see the writing on it. But for some of you that don't know or that don't have a lot of info on, don't have a lot of experience with Golden Age books, writing and things of that nature and stamps, all the grading companies pretty much give it a pass because it was on almost every single book in that age. There's a lot more leeway given with golden age books than there is with silver, than there is bronze, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you're probably looking at it and saying, why is this a 9.6? Because there's even like on the S, I don't know if you guys could all see that there. There's like a little bit of like, I don't know if that's a smudge or like a printer defect, something on the S on the left side that you could see. Regardless, this book sold for $12,600. Okay, on Heritage Auction, which means you got to pay the tax. You got to pay the buyer's fee. Like there's a seller's fee, there's a buyer's fee. So you're not out the door at 12.6, right?
No.
Have you guys ever bought from Heritage, Mickey, Jay, Guy?
Yeah. I started buying from Heritage as soon as COVID hit, and that when it first hit, there was a couple of deals. Everyone was a little nervous. People were scared to buy. That totally changed. We all know that. It went in a total different direction. But like Matt said, there's taxes, there's fees. So 12.6 is probably, we'll say 13,000 with everything, right?
I'll be close to it.
About maybe a little less than 13,000.
We'll say 13 just for round numbers. We're not mathematicians over here. You know what I mean? I don't have to break out the fucking calculator. Okay. So stop me at any time, guys, because I'm just trying to drop some facts. But if you want to stop and we'll touch on some, just cut me off. All right. So here's the sale. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so the 12,006. Okay, it says includes the buyer premium. So the only thing we're missing is the tax. So tax, you figure in another $100. So yeah, we're just tax shipping. We're just below 13,000. Okay,
depending on what state you're in, it might
true.
But it's probably going to be like another $1,000, because they might charge a premium on shipping for something this expensive.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, like if you just round it to 10%, like in New York, we're close to 10%. California, close, right? So if you say, like you said, 800 to 1,000, yeah, you're over 13,000. So, so this YouTuber went out and he was actually bidding on this book because it was a book that he wanted. So he bid on this book. He only went up a certain amount, but realized he missed out. And he was keeping an eye on it, and he saw that it sold. And fast forward, a couple months goes by. And just for clarity, this 12,600 is right along the lines of other sales of a 9.6. There's 3 9.6s on the census in this book. One is 2 are Blue Label, and 1 is a pedigree. I forget which pedigree it is, but the pedigree sold for about 14,500. That was also in the middle of 2021, but I feel like pedigree comics usually do go for a little bit more of a premium. Would you say, Jay?
Yeah, depending on the pedigree collection and who it's from, but all that'll be on the label. But yeah, it definitely fetches a premium.
Right. So the 12.6 was definitely in line. So I want to make that clear as well. Like it wasn't like so much more than the last sale or whatever. Okay. So now, fast forward, I think this sold in November 17, 2022. Fast forward to end of February. Comic Link was having their auction session. What up, Ozzy? And this guy, Keston, was looking, I don't know if this is his name, but that's his channel name, was looking for the same book. And he happened to find a high-grade copy on Comic Link. Okay? So here was the high-grade copy. Let me go to the next page. This is the book that came up. He saw it was a 9.8, which there was none on the census prior to this 9.8.
Yep.
And he also noticed a green label. So at first, he was just kind of going to dismiss it. Then he kind of realized the writing on the arm, the placement of that writing, right in the middle. And it kind of, because obviously, when you're going to drop $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, you're going to be looking at every inch of that book. So back in November, he was looking at that book big time, right? So in his memory bank, he's looking at this book and he's saying, I know that book, right? So let me flip back to the other book real quick. You can see that. I mean,
yeah.
What do you think, Mickey? Is that the same book?
I mean, what are the odds, right? It is exactly the same book. There's no way that there's 2 out there that have that scribble on it, right?
It's got to be. Like, if you told me this was like a modern book that had some same characteristics in a high grade, I'd be like, maybe. But what are the chances of them having the same exact placement in a 9.6 from 1947?
Yep.
0%, right?
There's the same chances that there's 2 metallic mint green convertibles driving
Exactly.
off in great haste. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know where that's from. I
Oh,
got
yeah.
one right.
What do you got, Jay?
I get my cousin Vinny. How do you
Yes!
not know that?
Thank you, Jay. I love
There
you.
it is. All right. So he said, holy shit, this is the same book. Now, here's where we start to make some, we have to kind of fill in the blanks on our own. We're going to assume that the person that bought it in November received the book early December, cracked it out, and said, I think this book deserves a 9.8, resubmitted to CGC, probably did a walkthrough, right? Got the book back probably towards the end of December, beginning of January, like because of the holidays. And it came back, he was right, it got a 9.8, but it
Yeah,
came
he
back
was
a
right.
green label.
Oof.
Turned around and posted it with Comic Link, which also takes about a month. So we're going to assume it's the same guy, because that would have been a very tight window for him to sell it to somebody else and then that guy crack and press and sell it again, right? So we're just going to, for the sake of just, it doesn't make any sense that it's not the same guy. We're going to say this guy is the one that bought it, cracked it, resubmitted it, got the green label. Now,
100%.
why does
Yep.
it have a green label? I see a couple people asking. It's a good reason, good question.
By the way,
let-
good looking book.
It is a beautiful book. It is
Good
a
looking
beautiful
book.
book.
Yeah.
Nice bondage cover. They were big. You know, that was, people collected that stuff back then. Okay. Coupon missing from page 24. Okay. Now, you know that no Golden Age book. That is the last page of the book. Okay. So I know what I'm going to say next, but what do you, Guy, okay, what do you think of missing a coupon on the last page of the book, that it was a blue label from CGC, and
Well, this
now
is-
that coupon is missing?
This is the fact that makes me crazy, is that this was a blue label originally. That means the book was intact, or supposedly intact, right? That means they looked through this. That means they looked through pretty much, I don't know if do they look at every page? Are they supposed to look at every page? Now I'm asking you guys because you guys have graded more than me. I've
Yeah.
graded, yes, but they're supposed to look at every page. Obviously they look at the cover. Obviously they look at the back cover, right, guys?
Yeah. You
So
would
even
hope.
if they're not looking
You
at
would
every single page or counting pages, but you're looking at and you're talking about a Gold Age book. You're not talking about a modern book here. So you're going to be looking at the front cover. You're going to be looking at the back cover. And obviously whatever's inside, you're going to see when you open up those two pieces at least. Forget about looking at every page.
Right. At a minimum, right?
At a
You're saying.
minimum,
Yeah.
you're looking at this and you're looking at, if I open up the front cover and I say, oh, look, this is perfect. Look at this one. I'm going to see what's on the other side of the front cover, right? If I open up the back cover, I'm going to see what's supposed to be on the inside of the back cover, on the opposite page. Are you crazy? How is this a blue label to begin with?
I don't know.
Unless CGC got the book, cracked it open, they said, you know what? Let me just rip out this back coupon.
Let
Like,
me
what?
pull out this Dick Tracy decoder. I think that's what it was. It was like
on.
a Dick Tracy decoder watch or something like that.
Decoder ring.
I mean,
This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. First of all, for the guy to crack open a 9.6, this is where
Balls.
I was wondering. That's balls because.
Yeah.
But then again, what's the difference in price worth from that 9.6 to the 9.8? What's that jump? What's that jump worth?
that's a
Did you
good
say,
question.
Matt, that there was none on the census?
This is now the only 9.8. So I mean, Mickey,
So
what
what's
do you
your jump?
think
Is it
would be?
a
Yeah, what do you
$10,000 jump?
I mean, at that point, it could be any number, right? Because it's literally, it's like now it's just
Yeah.
whoever wants it. So I don't think it would be unreasonable to at least say that it would double the price of the book. You know?
Yeah. So I mean, that's a big number, and you're risking obviously something by doing it. Would he have done it himself? Would he have brought it to them and say, you do it? So it's not going to lose its 9.6, supposedly. We know other stories. But
I don't know. I mean,
I'm so baffled by this whole thing.
The only
My
thing
thing-
I was sorry to cut you off real
No,
quick,
go ahead.
but the only thing that I thought maybe was the case. This is what I'm questioning too. Is I thought that maybe he sent it to CGC to have it cracked and pressed and resubmitted, which then I would have said, okay, this guy didn't know that was missing because he sent it in the case. But there was 396s on the census before this, and now there's still 396s. And I know when you send them the book and it gets resabbed, they update the census, they would eliminate that 96. So I'm 99% sure he either cracked and just sent straight away, or cracked and somebody pressed it for him and then sent it in. Or maybe he pressed it himself, but clearly he either said, well, this coupon's missing, I'm not going to say anything, it got a blue label before. Maybe, like, for me, honestly, not being a Golden Age guy, I would say, well, maybe they allow coupons missing from Golden Age books because it happened a lot back then. Yeah. People weren't collecting comics to collect comics. They were like a newspaper almost, right? So, I mean, Jay, I don't know. You tell me. What do you...
So, one, obviously the guy had a great eye, right, from what he's seen on the outside, because he took the chance of from it going to a 9.6 to a 9.8, which it did, right? Here's the thing. I'm with you. I think that 9.6 would have been retracted from the census if he would have sent it in. I think well, we'll talk about CGC grading it the first time as a blue label. Who knows when he sent it in? He could have sent it in during this busy time, right, when everything was going on, anywhere from 2020 up until present day. Everyone had these days at work. This guy maybe got halfway through the book, didn't see anything, and was like, fuck it, a 9.6, right? Because otherwise he would have seen the stamp missing. And we've all done that at work, right? We've done it at school. We've done it at work where we just have a lazy day. Let me get through this. Yeah, it looks good. 9.6.
Now, when a book like this, Jay?
No, I hear you, man. But what's the other explanation for it? Like, what else could it be? He obviously the grader missed a page, or just was like, let's in a rush.
The last page?
Yeah,
missed a page. Yeah. Okay, he missed page 13. Okay.
Yeah, well, listen. When I did my homework, I never did the last couple of problems at the end because I was done doing. I got tired with the shit. I could see someone doing
that's when
that.
you just hit CCCCC on the
that's
last.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. Now
that never works. That never works.
As far as him getting the book, he probably got it, cracked it out, looked it over, seen that the coupon was missing, and like Matt said, was like, "Oh fuck this! I'm sending this back in." It's probably sweating like, I hope it gets the same grade, But that's where it kind of comes into play. Like, is it worth it, man? Even with modern books, is it worth sending a 9.6 in to get a 9.8? Seeing how they're graded nowadays, I don't have the balls to do that. Kudos for him. Like I said, he's seen it. It got the 9.8, but now he got a green label. Now I just crack it and send it again, and hopefully
somebody else misses it.
Yeah, it's under the radar now. He should have done that before he
didn't post
for the public.
I have a question. Put yourself in the same situation. Each of you, tell me whether you would have done this or not.
Go ahead, Mickey.
Would I have done it?
Would you have taken a chance? Now you know the difference, Mickey. We just talked about it.
Yeah.
There's a big difference in almost doubling the value of the book you said. Let's leave it at that. Let's say it's doubling. Would you have taken a chance and done this, knowing that it's perfect?
Yeah. Me personally, if it was a book that was going to stay in my PC, I wouldn't do it. If I was someone who's a little more aggressive, like maybe I was a comic book dealer and I really thought that I could make double, like I can see why you would take on a risk like this. Especially if you feel confident with your grading. And once you had the book in hand, you were looking at the slab and you're like, yeah, I think that this could get a 9.8. I could see someone, having that, wanting to roll the dice in that way. But I don't know. It's interesting because it makes me think of a couple things. Like outside, ruling out the possibility that for some reason when this guy cracked it out, he himself or she or whatever cut out the coupon themselves, ruling out that random thing that happened.
Possible, right?
It does feel like, yeah, CGC, when they graded this, maybe they counted the pages. Maybe they weren't thinking that there was a coupon in this book. Maybe it's not something they see every day, so they just are not aware of it. Like, if you got a Hulk with 181, you're thinking, oh, let me check the Marvel value stamp. I'm used to checking that, that sort of thing. And they just kind of looked at the cover, looked at the back, flipped the pages, counted them. Everything seemed okay, and gave it the grade that they did. And it makes you sort of wonder, though, because hasn't CGC always said that we have 3 graders check books?
Well, that's what what's his name just said. Automatic Comics.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
How could
And
three?
and Reef said the same thing.
Yeah.
Now here's my
ahead.
question to you guys. Right? Here's my question.
You didn't answer mine first.
I answered
You already
yours. I
said no. He said no.
Oh, you said you wouldn't do it,
I said I don't have the balls.
Yeah.
Matt?
Oh, me? I think I might be more inclined to, although I was in a similar situation, and me and Jay talked about this probably for like a couple days when I had that UF4, and it was in Ultimate Fallout 4 1 in 25 is a 9.8 CBCS, and I said, should I send it to CGC and try to get a 9.8? And I didn't do it then, so I guess just by repeating history, I guess it has to be a no. So I know I said yes originally, but thinking back, I would hope I would do it, but history says I wouldn't. So
now here's a question for you. If this gentleman would have sent that book back into CGC, still in the slab, to get breasts cleaned and regraded, and they caught that there, do you think they give him the green label there to avoid all this backlash, or you think they just throw it back in a 9.6 slab and just send it in the blue label again?
That's a very, very good question.
I don't know.
Wow.
And I think, you know what? And again, like this is something that I just kind of thought of as we were talking about the census. And so I think you're right in that it didn't get sent back in the slab. I think we're almost 100% certain of that for two reasons. Because they didn't update the census and remove the 9.6. And I think what you just said, Jay, is 1,000% correct. I think it would have just got the blue label.
Yep.
Because that is an enormous mistake.
Yep, yeah. I think 100% they would have caught that and just gave it the same grade back again and just let him go with it. But now it's too late. CGC is aware of it. It's over for that book.
Yeah, it's and now just to be clear, the person that bought and sold this and regraded it did not post this anywhere. The guy Keston's Old School Comics happened to be searching for this book and happened to see both sales on auction sites and remember that it was the same book and then started digging and did the research. So kudos to him. We can get into, I wanted to get into, we'll do that at the end. Should CGC be responsible for this? And I think Jay just opened the door on that. So we'll get to that though. There's not too much more here, but so we'll let's see. So okay, so the 9.8. Somebody asked, was there graders notes on the blue label, and there was none. So which isn't. I don't think that's too rare because that happens sometimes. But there was definitely no mention of a missing coupon. Okay. So. The guy Keston, he was following Comic Link. He put in a bid. The book was at like 2,000. He put in a bid for 3,500 and instantly got outbid. It instantly went to 3,600, and then there was 3 days left. And he waited and waited and waited, and it never went up from there. This book sold for $3,600 on Comic Link. So. Number one, my question is, if this guy Keston never bid on it, what would it have finished at? Because it was at 2,000. Now, this seller, he's not getting 3,600, right? Comic Link's taking a piece of that. So what do they take? 10%? 8%?
8. Yes, I think 7. I think 7.25 and 8.25. The last time I bought.
Right. Okay. So they're taking $300. So again, let's just flatten it out to 3,000. Let's just say 33.
Yeah, that's fine.
3,000 versus 13,000. Somewhere in that, he lost more than $10,000 on the buy and the sell within 3 months. It wasn't like it was 3 months. He lost $10,000 to $11,000 on this single Golden Age book.
It's like the banks it's like banks going out of business nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
like,
I'm cracking this thing out and selling it raw, whoever I am.
You may want to at that point, actually. You know, it might be better, but it's one of those things where, not to jump ahead, Matt, you know, if we get into like the CGC responsibility thing, but it does make me think like, and again, the problem is he cracked it out. So now CGC has plausible deniability,
exactly.
You know, if he didn't film it. But like, I don't know if I was him, like there's nothing wrong with cracking and pressing, right? Like people do it all the time. There's nothing, it's not like illegal, but if I was him and I cracked it. And CGC, you're the certified guarantee company. You know,
That's the word.
This is the 9.6.
That's the word, Swag.
You know? And if I were to open the book and see that it wasn't, I mean, like, I'd have a grievance with them, you know. But again, they can deny it because maybe I decided to cut out my own coupon. I don't know, you know.
You don't know what could happen. Once you crack that out, that's it. That their responsibility is out the window. Now you're on your own. You know what I mean?
So here's the census, just to kind of verify, and you can see there's 3 9.6s still, and there's 1 qualified 9.8.
Man.
So, I honestly, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, the guarantee, you know, I'm going to go back to it. This isn't like a modern age $200 to $300 9.6, 9.8, right? Where I could see graders, and honestly, if it happened, I wouldn't even blink at it. If somebody bought a book that had a page missing in a modern book, I honestly, they're probably out there. There's probably modern books out there with pages missing and blue labels, because it's not something that happens that often. So I could see a grader skimming through that.
Yeah.
But again, a golden age book, number 1. Number 2, a high value, high grade golden age book. Okay, number 2. How do you skim through that? And then, like Guy was saying, if you're not even going through all the pages, you're definitely looking at that back cover, which in turn lets you see the last page. And it wasn't like a small coupon like Mickey was talking about, the MVS and Marvel in Hulk 181. This was like probably halfway across the page and maybe like 2 inches tall. So it was probably 4 or 5 inches wide and 2 inches tall on the bottom of the page.
Wow. Yeah, that's a coupon. You
coupon.
You write your name and your fucking address on.
Stuff like that. Right. So to me, this is like a major oversight. Now, again, is there a small possibility that this guy cracked it out, cut that coupon out? You'd have to be outside of your fucking mind to do that. But of course, there is that 1 in 1 billion chance, right? But I just don't see it. Like, this is a major oversight, like Guy was saying, for the certified guaranteed company.
To miss this, there has to be some responsibility, doesn't there? I mean, you have to have some responsibility for this. There has to be some sort of backlash that's coming because of this. I'm just saying that right now. There's no way this is going to stay quiet. There's no way that they're not going to hear about it, obviously. Not even through us, through the channels, through the streams, through whatever. But you gotta, it's somewhat your fault, no? Like,
it's not, though. Legally, it's not. You crack the book out. That's it. It's done at that point.
They can legally say they're done.
You have no solid proof that Cooper wasn't there when it was graded the first time. There's nothing you could do about that now. Unless, like Swaggle said, you videoed it or opened it in front of CGC. That's the only way. They are 100% off the hook on this one. 1,000% off the hook.
I think we need to find out how it was submitted.
I tried to find out anything I could on this, and it's still very early. Like, this book just sold like the 12 days ago, 11 days ago. So
I think we'll get more answers if we found out how it was submitted.
Now, even so, let me ask, because I agree with you, Jay, that they're technically, you can't hold them, responsible for this, but now should they make it right?
Right.
That's. What do you guys think about that?
They have to have some insurance policy, right? I mean,
who though? But who's to say this guy's son didn't get into his collection and cut a coupon out of his book? There's nothing. There's nothing you could. The book, cracked it open for who knows how long in between when he got it, cracked it, and submitted it.
But did he? Or did he send it to them and they cracked it open?
No,
we don't know.
Well, just the
census. From what you're saying on the census, you're saying no.
We're pretty sure. We're 99% sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think somebody just asked, and I think Jay made a good point before. If he did send it in the case, I don't even think we'd be having this conversation.
Yeah.
I think it would have came back blue.
Yeah, it would have came back blue, and it would have said "fuck the blue label 9.6."
You think they would have said they would have overlooked it?
100%.
Yeah, purposely overlooked.
And is that right?
Yes and no. It's their mistake, and they know they made a mistake, and now.
So put shit in, shit out.
Right, yeah. Well, they listen. If they crack it out and they see that they missed that, or 3 graders missed that, and now they graded it the first time, they cracked it out, they observed the mistake. Now they're on the hook for thousands of dollars.
But you're gonna lie again and say this is worth this much when it's not.
100% you are.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you think that they would maybe go?
That's
like,
bullshit.
Contact the guy and be like, "Hey Matt, we got your book. It's CGC. It turns out we missed something. We're gonna buy it off you. We're gonna pay you, whatever." You think?
I don't even know what they would do. That's a very good question.
I think that's bullshit that they would do that. What you're saying, Jay?
Not if you're the owner of the book, you don't.
Of course, but of course, but come on.
I would be happy if it came back.
I'm
like
talking
that,
about
you know?
honesty here. I'm talking
Ignorance
about
is
honesty.
bliss. Ignorance is bliss. If you think you got a blue label 9.8, it don't fucking matter. You know.
There is
That's true. That's true.
Can we get into the next CGC nightmare?
We can.
Well, before you do that,
Yeah,
former Trout, as always, coming in with that super chat. Wish I was 13K super chat, but it's just a bunch of sweaty toonies. So there you go.
But before I play something for our boy, former Trout, I was thinking maybe what happened is this was like an episode of Moon Knight where all of a sudden he flashed back and he was like, and then he had the book in his hand with a pair of scissors. What happened? I don't fucking know. But I mean,
but I see what Duro says too. But Heritage would have said the same thing. Like, dude, you cracked the book out. Like, anything could happen.
Wouldn't they improve if they bought it from Heritage and showed through that I graded previously? But like, yeah, I think like Jay said, like once that book leaves custody of a Comic Link, a Heritage, of a CGC, and it gets into a private collector's hands, and the book comes out of the case,
what are you gonna do?
Technically, anything can happen. We all, everyone in this chat, everyone on this panel knows what happened. CGC made a mistake, right? We're 99.9% sure of that.
Now,
Go ahead.
well, the one thing I would say is, in the event that, say, their kid cut it out or whatever happened, you know, you would still think that maybe he would have put the thing back in the book and sent it in, and it would say coupon cut but married or something like that. Right. So you know, not that that proves anything, but you know, it sort of goes to show that the story that this person doesn't have the coupon, you know, like it's not in their possession. You would think that they would put it back in the book or whatever if they had the opportunity to.
I think there's less than that on the census. I could be wrong, but forget about the high grade. There's 4. I mean, I think there's 12 over 9.0 or 15 or something like that. But I mean, somebody saying, you know, the video, like you got 4 collectors here. Would you ever video yourself cracking a book out, like for like YouTube purposes, but just to document for yourself?
Now you will.
Now, maybe.
Yeah, now.
I'm saying before today,
now.
I don't see a scenario where that happens. You know what I mean? I just don't.
I wouldn't have ever thought to film it.
Now I see every scenario where that happens.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like we talked a couple weeks ago about, you know, I don't know, Mickey, I think you were in the chat when we were talking about the guy that faked the CGC slabs. It makes you start thinking like that these things are possible, which goes against that certified guaranteed portion of CGC's name. Like,
we got to get into the next
and
one,
that's
because
that's where we're rolling right into. Yes.
Segue,
right? And we want to be sure of these. And these are things that CGC, right? These are anecdotal. Don't get me wrong. These are big, like the fake and these are big oops, right? But again, it's stuff that they can, and we hope, and the reason why we're doing this is because we hope they change for the better. You know what I mean? The next one, I think this happens a lot more often than we know, but this just happens to be personally close to us. And I think completely correctable, and I hope CGC makes it right. But Jay, I'll let you take this one.
So guys, we had an amazing Murphinator on our last auction. Great guy, great member of the community, old school collector, good friend of ours. We party with him all the time. We meet up a lot. Murph sent Mike Murphinator. We'll call him Mike. We'll call him Murph. Murph sent this book into CGC for a Todd signing, which you know I hate now. Ever since COVID's over, I don't think they should have these CGC private signings because, like we talked about last episode I was on, They push everything to the back and they just focus on these signings. Now, Murph sent this Todd McFarlane Spider-Man #1 newsstand in to get graded, in to get its signature, right? Came back in 8.0, which is rough to begin with. But what's missing there, guys? He never got the fucking signature. They never signed. Todd never.
Oh my God.
Signed this book. It gets a yellow label. The kicker is it has the Todd logo on it, the Todd label.
That's where he signed it.
But no
on the label.
No Todd signature anywhere on this book. How does this happen? Like,
what did it go in as though? Didn't it? Was it graded already?
No, he sent this in. I believe he had Chulo's Comics send it in for him.
But okay, it wasn't a blue label prior to this.
No, he sends it in. He
But
thought, and
I know he thought it was much higher than 8.0, right?
He thought it was higher than 8.0, right?
Right.
Which, listen,
it looks like it. I mean,
a modern. It looks like a modern book to get 8.0 has to have some flaws in it, right? We all know that. But the main thing here is Todd didn't even sign this book, but yet it goes into quality control and grading. We all know it gets graded after the signings. It comes back a yellow label signed by Todd McFarlane. This is absolutely insane. Now, how do they rectify this for him? They hold on to the book till Todd does his next signing next year. Do they mail it out to Todd to sign? Like, do they just refund him the money? Where do they go from here? Say McFarlane dropped dead tomorrow. Now Murph is fucked. He never gets his signature on this, and it's crazy. At this point, I just keep the book like this because I think it's fucking. Now it's rare. It's a one of one newsstand, yellow label. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what's funny is I'm looking at the label, and now you guys are gonna have to help me because I'm not as versed in this book. So number one, people are asking, is it signed on the inside? It would say on the label signed on inside cover, right? Okay.
Yep.
So
and Todd wouldn't sign it on the inside on a CGC.
No. Okay, that's number one. Number two, it says polybagged edition. Now, is the newsstand considered the polybagged edition or no? It shouldn't be, right?
No, the only polybagged edition I believe were the silver one and the gold. I think it was just this. I have to ask in the chat. I think the polybagged was just the silver, but I could.
So, I mean, it literally says polybagged edition. So now I'm thinking like the wrong information got put with the wrong book. Like, you know what I mean? Like it says, I would think it would say, and somebody that's better with this book, let us know. I think on the label, it should say newsstand edition.
Yep, 100%.
It shouldn't be an 8.0 and it should be signed. So I think this was clearly like a clerical paperwork error, but that goes back to Jay's point of that basically conveyor belt that they turn on when they have these private in-house signings. And I think this is, what does that say? There's NS and polybags that also have UPC. So he's saying that this possibly could be a poly bag. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm not super versed in the different versions of this book. So
now here's the thing. When you're bombarded at work, just like we talked about before with the Golden Age book, right? You got hundreds of grade a day. These people don't give a fuck if it's a Golden Age, a modern book, a silver. They're just pushing shit through, man. And this is how lazy. That's how stuff gets pushed through the cracks. Being lazy. That's the only excuse for this. It's lazy. It's lazy business tactics.
Yeah, it definitely does poke a hole into the idea that you have three graders looking at it. You know?
Right.
100%. Yeah. Is that the truth? I don't think so. Like you said before, who would miss three? They get one guy that looks at it. They tell you it's three. How does three graders miss a signature on this book, right? How does three graders miss a coupon out of a Golden Age book? It's, guys, this is why. I mean, everyone that's been keeping their books raw, I don't blame them right now. I'm not sending nothing till times go down, right? And they start, and their quality goes up because it's just nothing but nightmare stories at this point for CGC and CBC. Yes, and EGL that put that in the chat, keep buying that garbage.
Tokyo Joe, we said this at the beginning, and I was just about to say it again now. Like, again, we are not CGC haters. We like the company for grading. That's all we use. I'm not going to change anytime in the near future when I grade a book. And like I said, I think they get it right way more often than they get it wrong. Okay. And again, yes, this is an individual instance. and it's close to home for us. It's a friend. That's why and we were talking about CGC to begin with, and this was just another example. You're right. They do hundreds of thousands of books, 100%. However, you need to be better. You know what I mean? Like, we hear too many stories too often. And of course, you're never going to hear that somebody got 100 books back and they were all good, because that's just what you expect. When you're the top of the hill, when you're the king, you're expected to be right all the time. And obviously that's not going to happen. But things like this almost shouldn't be allowed to happen, right? Like Mickey said, 3 graders. The next guy that puts the book in the label, like, there had to be a breakdown between the guy that's grading. Obviously the guy that grades it isn't the guy that's encapsulating it. So there was a breakdown there. But again, that goes back to quality control. You're taking, you know, those prices keep going up, right? Mickey, those tier fees keep going up in the turn. Like, what are we getting for those increases? If not, are we not supposed to be paying for more graders and more quality control and better facilities? You know, and it seems like, and again, I'm limiting this to the last 6 or 7 years, but it seems like it's almost getting worse because of the number of books that they're getting. I mean, I don't know, Mickey, what do you think? Do you think that everything we're seeing is within the acceptable, you know, deviation of where the errors are? Do you feel like we should expect more from CGC?
I do think we should expect more. I mean, sorry, I forgot who your friend's name was that had this happen to
Murph.
them.
Murph, yeah.
But like, so has he been able to contact with them? Because this seems like a no-brainer CGC.
Quick fix,
like, you made a mistake.
Yeah.
We can forgive you, but you got to make it right. So what are they?
How do you make this right though? With a refund?
I guess at the very least a refund, and I mean, you might as well give Murph something
Credit?
like, "Hey, here's some free grading, or here's some whatever."
Yeah.
You know, but
yeah, I agree.
They probably have this book on hand that they're probably going to end up sending him, to be honest with you. That's what I think is going to happen. They're going to send them a version of this book with a SIG on it. Because like Jay said, what if McFarlane never does this again, you know?
But it is weird and kind of, I don't know if troubling is the right word, but, you know, people have been talking about the turnaround times recently for CGC have been great, but is it worth it if it's just like just get these books in and out, flip through them. How many pages? Yeah, 24. That sounds good. You know, and they just keep cranking it out. And it seems like, I don't know if it's the trade-off for speed of turnaround and the you know, down goes the quality control. And it feels like there can be a better balance here.
It's all nightmare stories at this point. I don't know who said that. If you're saying I said that, I don't think I said that. So I don't know who said it. Maybe somebody said it in the chat. I don't think that's the case.
No, I don't think it's the case.
I think I'm echoing what Mickey says too. So
yeah, I don't think that's the case at all. But it's a lot more stuff is slipping through the cracks, and now with social media, a lot more people are posting stuff, and mistakes are catching fire. People are mad. Turnaround times suck right now. But listen, when things get back on track, I'm a CGC guy myself. It's the only grading company I ever used for big books, right? But I think my stuff is staying in Mylar for a little while, guys, to be honest with you.
I don't think Jay said that either. It's all nightmare stories. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I don't think that's what we believe, right? Because we wouldn't use them then, right? Like,
yeah, no, I don't think that at all. It's like, there's these things are going to be highlighted, like you said, Jay, because of social media and stuff. And you know, there's a lot. It's a very high volume of books, and there's going to be mistakes.
And it makes you second guess yourself if you have a big book, right? If you have a big book that you think could get a press and a clean and come back a better grade, it's kind of like, oof, I don't know, man. You know, you're better off keeping it the way it is right now.
Yep, I hear you. And Guy, thank you for bringing it to my attention. Uncle Tito, our Kingdom Comics, sent us an example of this book, and it is polybagged with the UPC, so that is correct on the label. So
perfect.
Thank you, Kingdom Comics.
Thank you, Kingdom.
All right, so I think we've beat up CGC enough tonight. But again, we like CGC. We want them to be better. We want collectors to be comfortable using them, and we don't want to have to start questioning what's inside of our slabs. I think that's the main point. That's kind of sums the whole thing up.
And listen, we want CBCS to be better too for people that collect CBCS. We want that to be better.
Yes.
We want people to get what they pay for, no matter what grading company they use.
I think that's the point. You're paying for a service. You're paying for something that you get a return on. So you expect to get what you pay for.
Sure.
Is that here's the question, CGC, CBS, is that too much to ask?
Yeah, mistakes are going to happen.
We get it.
We need to minimize. Like, there's always ways to improve, right? I think that's the point. There's always ways to improve, and I expect them to. I expect better cases so that they can't be, broken into and duplicated. I think that's going to get resolved. This coupon thing, again, you're only as good as your weakest link, right? So, like Jay said, if that guy had a bad night, or he was like at the end of a shift, and then the next guy it just compounds. So, these things are going to happen. Obviously, if you just lost $11,000, you're not going to want to just hear these things happen, right? Yeah. You're not going to want to hear, well, mistakes happen, right? So you have to put yourself in that guy's shoes, not, I got a 7-0 and I got a 7-0 instead of an 8-0, right? Like, that's not, So anyway, let's talk about something good that's coming up in about 2 weeks, boys and girls. Jay.
Here we go, guys. King Khan returns at the APA Hotel in Island, New Jersey. I cannot wait. The first con of the year for me. This is setting the tone, guys. Today it's going to be the first time it's a 2-day event. Saturday, March 25th and Sunday, March 26th. I believe. What time do they open on Saturday, Matt? A little later, right?
Saturday, the early birds are 11:30. Everyone else is 12.
There you go, guys. If you're in the tri-state area, come hang out. It's going to be a good time. We'll be
so
drinking
Jay will
beers.
be there around 2.
Yeah, I'll be there around 2, 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
he's got an engagement the night before.
I have. You know what? I have
Jay,
a boxing match.
Jay,
on
I'm
Thursday.
just letting everybody know. That's all. I want them to be prepared.
Oh yeah, I got a busy week that week. Busy.
So there's a QR code on the screen, which we just realized is something that we could do now with this program. So you can use your phone to highlight that, or if you're looking at a computer screen, you can just point your camera up to that. That'll take you to the King Khan website. Buy your tickets online. Get them now. This way, it's out of the way. Buy the 2-day ticket online. It's cheaper. See, Mickey's doing it right now. Someone scanned the QR code. It just tells me on my screen. That's great. So
it works. It works.
Yeah, there you go. So do all that stuff. Get it out of the way now. Buy them online. Don't wait till you get there. You get a little bit of a discount. Plus, you lock it in. Then you mentally prepare yourself for going, and you can't make any excuses why you're not going. We're going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got giveaways. There's t-shirts, merch. We got cool giveaways. You're going to have to drink and dance probably to get them. So be ready to make a fool of yourself live on the internet to get these giveaways. And then, of course, the vendors that are going to be there. Great lineup, same as last. A lot of the same vendors as the last 2 years, which was super successful. Gary, Erod, X-Illusionary, Absolute Comics and Collectibles, Panther. I mean, new. The list goes on and on. You can check it out on the website. Be there. We're going to be there hanging out. Come say hi to us. We'll see you on the 25th. What do we got next? Some news. You guys want to hit the news, or you want to stop and we got to talk about anything, or what? What do you got?
Keep rolling.
All right. Jay, you want to run the news since this is kind of your stuff here?
Guys, I'm telling you right now, everybody will talk about the Punisher. This is what potentially could bring me back to the MCU right here. Jenna Ortega has reportedly been cast in Daredevil Born Again for a major role. Where there's smoke, there is fire. Only seen her in Wednesday. Loved her in Wednesday. And
it's a little crush. Jay's got a little crush.
I'm a fan. This is what's gonna get me back. It ain't Bernthal, it's Ortega, 100%, guys. So a lot of rumors of who she could be in the Daredevil series, right? A lot of names thrown out there. The name that made sense to me the most was White Tiger, right? Ava Ayala, younger sister of Hector Ayala. We all know him, guys. This could be huge, right? This cast on Daredevil might change my mind. We'll get into Punisher later. Books to be on the lookout for, right? I'm not going to use the word speculation. These are books that I am not at all buying on the secondary market. These are books I still believe that you could find in an LCS depending on where you are. But and Macari and all that shit are through the roof already. So Matt, go through some books. Guys, be on the lookout. Flea markets, LCSs, Avengers Academy number 20. That's Ava's cameo. Number 21, her first full appearance and cover, which I like. I think that's the book right there. And then also we have the first book in her solo series from White Tiger, number 1 from 2006. Matt, you got, oh, there it is. That's that dope. Me and Erod talked about this book. That's that dope David Mack cover. She has a huge following, right? She has like a cult following already for such a young actress. You see people imitating her Wednesday dance, and huge following, guys. People that are outside the hobby could come looking for these books. I do think they're going to spike even higher than they are, because don't listen, they're high right now. 9.8s are high, but beyond the books you could find, guys. So definitely.
This is also the first appearance of Angela Del Toro, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So a little double spec behind that book. I'm actually going to go out this weekend up by me and look for any of these books, because I'm, like I said, I'm an Ortega fan. Here we have Mighty Avengers number 3, right?
Yep.
So I'll get into this book a little bit. This is when the second Power Man, Victor Alvarez, and Ava Ayala join the Mighty Avengers, right? Them two have a close knit, and that's the limited edition M&M variant, which we all know was only sold in Detroit. That fetches a heavy dollar right now, but that Mighty Avengers 3 is a good book to grab. And it's a dope Blue Marvel cover, which everybody should be grabbing Blue Marvel books right now, because he will come sooner or later. Which gets me into Power Man. Matt, I know we got those books right there. So you got Power Man, Victor Alvarez, right? A Dominican teenager with the ability to wield chi like Iron Fist, right? Her and Ava have so many ties together. They were in the Mighty Avengers together, and then where'd they go after that? I got it on my notes. They left the Mighty and they joined Speedball's New Avengers. They had a love interest. Now they remain friends. The thing about these two characters, her tiger amulet and his chi combined together to form a special power. So listen, if she's coming, I don't think he's far behind off that. And White Tiger, Ava, also has strong ties to the Defenders, ties to Elektra, ties to Spider-Woman, all these characters that we know are coming down the pipe. Now, I know people say Elektra. I don't think she could be Elektra. I think she's too young. She's too small for Elektra. People said Typhoid Mary. I don't see that happen. That's a love interest of Kingpin, and watching Kingpin make out with Jenny Ortega on Disney Plus should be rated X, to be honest with you. But books you should be on the lookout for. Not only that, right? So Hector Ayala, first White Tiger. That's a book everybody should have in their collection. It's cheap right now. He gets killed by Gideon Mace, who first appears in Heroes for Hire number 3. I didn't give that book to Matt because I read up on it afterwards. Another character we may see Hector in a quick flashback get killed and give Ava the amulet. But books to be on the lookout, guys, for. You could definitely these books, especially Shadowland Power Man number 1.
Yeah, you can find these.
And the second print by Salvador Larroca. Wait, did Larroca do this? No,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
so. Yes.
Larroca did the. That's a Mike Perkins. Larroca did the Eminem, and
yes,
Larroca did
correct.
the Eminem cover. Yep. So books definitely to be on the lookout for. Some deeper spec, but if we're getting rumors of her, everyone's grabbing her books right now. Grab the adjacent characters. Grab the Gideon Mace. Grab the Victor Alvarez, the second Power Man, because good books to have in your collection, and I think we may see them along the lines.
And
UniX says great work, Jay.
Yeah, and I'm sure you. And listen, this ain't my work. These books, White Tiger has gone up. I'm just bringing it to viewers' attention to be on the lookout for them, because they might have slipped through the cracks to some people. But always look at those next characters. You know what I mean?
As Jay said, when everybody's going straight, do a little sidestep, guys.
Yeah,
do a little sidestep.
If they do bring her in as White Tiger, they're going to have to give a little background story on how she got the amulet and her family and Hector and all that. So always excellent books to have. And you could go online and just Google Victor Alvarez and Ava Elia, and you'll see the ties they have together, the books they're in. It brings in Blue Marvel. She has strong ties to Blue Marvel. She was held like not prisoner, but almost like a patient in his lab. So all good books to be on the lookout, guys, for. Don't buy them on eBay. Do not buy them on Whatnot for an extreme amount of money. Do not buy them on Mercari because they're already priced extremely high, guys. Hunt for your books and find these books in your LCS.
Yep. And like Jay said, sometimes you just try to use you try to put a puzzle together with the pieces that we have. And another, I don't know, Jay, if you heard about this, Mickey guy, that I heard recently Marvel or Disney/Marvel has trademarked Avengers Academy, the phrase Avengers Academy.
And Disney executives said last week that there will be a new Avengers team.
Right. So I read that about 3 days ago, Avengers Academy, whether it was for like a movie production or just to have that name so they could start merchandising. But clearly this is an Avengers Academy character, a character that debuted in Avengers Academy. And now we have this info and we get Avengers Academy trademarked. I mean, these are obviously anything can happen, but it's a good sign. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I like it. This is definitely like you're saying, Jay. It's like one of those. I'm taking my mental pictures of the covers. Get that memory in, and then next time you're out digging around, you're flipping through. It's like, oh, there's that one. That's how to play it.
And like I said, man, whether the character is good or not, it's gonna spike because of Jenny and her following, guys. People are gonna want that comic book. Not only comic book fans, but just fans of her. So expect that book to spike a little bit, And listen, like I said, if you find it and you don't like the character, you trade someone for a book you do like, a character you do like. Make it work. Just don't leave them in those bins, though. Pick it up for me if you see it.
Yeah, if you find it, get it.
Before we talk about the Punisher, and we got some opinions on that. Number one, if you can, hit that thumbs up. If you're watching, you like what we're talking about. If you're new, you're coming over here from Swaggle's channel, give us a sub if you can. Please. And speaking of Swaggle's channel,
but you owe former Trout a video.
I owe something. Should we do a smash that?
He waited for a long time.
What should I just play a super chat? You want to do a smash that like? What do you want to see?
Swag is
make Swag blush a little bit.
Swag is in the house, so
make Swag blush a little.
Make it rain on me, Defects. Yeah. I can feel it. More.
I'll save that video for later.
Oh man! So now Swag has to talk after that. So I got the QR code. We got another QR code. Swag, tell them what you got going on.
Highlight that guy, man.
Yeah, thank you. Well, good to be on the channel, but if you guys don't know, on my channel, I have been recently talking about a special project that I recently came out with. Outside of my YouTube Swagglehaus persona, I've always worked in film and entertainment. I do a lot of screenwriting, and I thought, hey, why not, kind of dive into comic book writing? And so I recently released a Kickstarter for a comic book I wrote. And, just doing the rounds now to see if people are interested. So I don't know if there's any images or stuff, Matt, I can talk over, but yeah, there it is right there. It's called Sanity. It's like a Lovecraftian pulp adventure comic book, kind of like a throwback to, Golden Age detective stories. If you're sort of into that kind of thing, if you like your Agatha Christie novels and mystery and detective and Lovecraft world, little mix of Indiana Jones, you might like the book. So, kind of dipped into this, and it's my first sort of written work in this space. And we launched a Kickstarter this last Wednesday, and we actually already hit the goal, so that was pretty exciting.
Sign me up,
brother.
Sign me up.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
dude, these are great. You want to talk a little bit about the artist?
Sure. Yeah.
Swag, how long have you been writing this? Real quick before we talk about the artist.
So the truth is, I actually wrote this probably over a year ago. Is when I actually wrote it. And it was something I was like, okay, this would be cool to do, but I got to wait for like sort of the right time to like really get it going and find the right team and the creative team to put it together. And but I would say over the last like 6 months or so is when I really started to get the ball rolling and find the artists. And actually, shout out to Adam Barnhart, who I met through you guys and stuff. But he had an artist that he worked with, and his name is Santiago Espina. And so I really liked what Adam did with him. I loved his work, and so got in touch with him, and he is the artist, at least for the the pencils and the interiors and stuff. And there's a bunch of variant covers as well that are done by different artists as well. So
nice. The link for the Kickstarter is obviously in the QR code on the screen, but it's also linked in the description. And if one of the mods can drop it in the chat, or one of you guys, this way, if you want to go check out the Kickstarter, see what it's about, even if you want to just read through it, give it a look. If you want to pledge, great. Swag's a good member, really good, important member of this community. So we want to try to definitely give him a hand here. And I'm gonna have high hopes for this, Swag. Yeah, screenwriter, this and that. This better be a fucking good comic.
I mean, yeah, I know. I feel a lot of the pressure. Actually, it's like, oh man, like
now you got to deliver. I mean,
I like it. I think it's good. I'm very happy and proud of the work. So hopefully, if people give it a chance, you'll like it as well.
Well, listen, everybody thinks their baby's not, is cute. You know what I mean? But
That's true.
We'll have faith in it. I have faith in Mickey, so I think
I have faith in it.
The truth is the truth is I actually hate all my work. I think all my babies are good.
I hear you.
I'm a tough critic, but I think that I don't hate this one. I'll say that.
No, I was joking around. This
what sells
a lot of. I read it. It looks cool. God.
I said what sells me is someone that loves comic books writing a comic book. That's my pitch right there.
So we were at 157. We're at 158 now. Guys, give it a look. Obviously, the goal has been met, but there's we're going to do stretch goals, Mickey. Like,
we hit the goal. And so I have a couple ideas for stretch goals and things like that. So, if anything, make some cool extra stuff to throw in for, all the people that supported. So would love to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell how big people really believe in Mickey, and they think he's an important member of this community, because it was what, a day you beat the goal, 1 day.
Yeah. It was it's pretty lucky. Very felt very supported, which was nice.
Right. So this isn't just a bullshit. People like Mickey, but they also read through this and said, "Oh yeah, this is something I'm into. I'll give my money for that." And to the tune of 158 backers so far. So really good, man. Congratulations on this. I'm speaking for all of us here. We wish you the best of luck with it. Anything else you want to talk about the book before we, talk about the Punisher a little bit?
No. Just, again, I appreciate you, saying the nice things. And if you guys want to take a look and see if it's something you're into and consider backing it, that would mean a lot. So thanks so much.
There you go.
Congrats, man. That's awesome.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
The QR code's on the screen just for a few more minutes if you want to check out the Kickstarter, and also links in the description. Jay, you good for a few more minutes, or?
Yeah, I'll do one last story. We got a storm to deal with tomorrow.
Yeah, that is true. Let's see. Let me share my screen again.
I got to talk about this.
I know.
Two in the house.
That's why I want to jump. Hold on. Let me switch this to that. Okay. All right, Jay, take us away on this.
We heard it before, guys. It's old news now. So before this news dropped, last week on the show, we talked about a rumor about Jon Bernthal showing up as Punisher in Deadpool 3, right? Which I believe to be true. Like I said, it's a rumor. I was excited for that. I'm like, they're going to throw him in an R-rated movie. We're going to, you know what I mean? We're going to see him out there. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be gory. It's going to be a Deadpool movie. I got to be honest with you, man. Look behind me. If I turn the camera around and you look, I am a Punisher guy.
A bit of a fan.
I'm a Punisher guy. I am in no way excited for this guy to be in the MCU. I think it's going to be such a watered down, non-violent Punisher with no blood and a Daredevil. listen, I'm not happy at all. Am I gonna watch it? Of course, it's the Punisher, right? I'm gonna watch it, but I think MCU is gonna kill this character. And I was going back and forth with people online because I made a post about it saying Bernthal sold his soul to Mephisto for this role, and everybody says to me the same shit, dude. They're like, "Oh, he wouldn't take the role if it was bad." Have you seen the Sopranos movie? That was my response to everybody.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Sopranos movie? Money talks, right?
Yeah.
It was either, hey man, you're gonna do it, or someone else is gonna do it, and he loves the character, and I'm a fan of Bernthal. I like all his stuff except for Punisher season 2 and Sopranos movie, but I don't.
Okay.
MCU is gonna kill this character, guys. Mark
Now-
my words.
We had talked about this a long time ago. I'll just say two quick things. We talked about this a long time ago. We told you he was coming. Somebody told us that he was signed probably a year ago. That was a done deal. Last year? Okay. But he, and again, money talks. But he specifically stated in an interview that he would not do this character again if they were going to really veer off of what they did in Netflix. Now, you can, of course, throw enough money at this guy. Maybe not. Some of these actors, they don't, they're not going to offer him fucking $100 million. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're going to throw him an amount of money at him that's going to be like, oh, now you have to do it. Because some actors they don't do it just for the money. And again, maybe he could turn around and be like, oh, well, it's kind of like Netflix. So I'm not using that quote as like this is going to be good, but it's just something to keep in mind. So while I'm not as pessimistic as Jay, I'm also not overly optimistic. I'm curious to see what happens. Let's put it that way. And whatever it is, it is what it is. I'd rather see this guy than no one. Let's put it that way. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. Sometimes leave it alone. But I'd rather have this Punisher than any other Punisher, right? Like I wouldn't want somebody new playing this role.
I'll agree with
right?
that.
But I would take no Punisher over a bad version of the Punisher. So
here's the problem with that, right? You're using the same actor as the Netflix series, right? Which him in Daredevil season 2 on Netflix was amazing. Punisher season 1, great. Not amazing, great. Punisher season 2, a no for me, dog, like Randy Jackson says. But that being said, you're using the same actor from the Netflix series. Easier to compare now how bad the writing and non-violence is going to be using the same exact Jon Bernthal, using the same actor. So I think, although he's not my favorite Punisher, Dolph Lundgren's my favorite Punisher by far. That's my favorite Punisher movie. He is my second favorite. But I don't know, guys. Is it going to be like Moon Knight where they just show a cutout scene and hundreds of people on the floor dead with no blood? I'm nervous.
My suspicion. I feel like if you're expecting anything more than, say, how Hugh Jackman plays Wolverine, I would say that's probably the edge. That would be my guess. As like, you're gonna get a guy who, he's the Punisher and he flips people off from time to time, But I can see Disney being like, Kevin Feige's like, yeah, are we sure we need to do that head slamming in the door of the car?
Right, yeah.
Like it just starts to get a little watered down. But that said, I'm still excited to see it. These types of things get me more excited than like, other characters that, I'm more of a legacy character person. So I like seeing like big characters like the Punisher or Ghost Rider. Hopefully if we get Ghost Rider. So I'm still excited, but I'm not going to.
I think you're going to get someone. I think you're going to get someone in between. I think that's where it's going to land.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as crazy as we all want and what Jay wants, and obviously we all want it because the success of that. And listen, I said it from the beginning when we started, when we talked about it on this channel. Like, that's the one series in Daredevil that I sat in bed on my phone like until 3 a.m. watching it, like, because I couldn't put it down. Like the character development, the the tenacity, like the craziness of the Punisher, the guns, everything. Like, I mean, that's what you want from him. Are we going to get it? No.
I like UniX's question. Are we going to see the Punisher skull? I think we are.
Yeah, that would be.
Yes.
I think they're under so much scrutiny at this point. For them to do that, I think is a shitstorm that they do not want to deal with.
Do you guys think this? Oh, sorry, Matt.
Go.
Do you guys think this is going to be one of those like Daredevil and She-Hulk, where it's like he's going to make a cameo, and that's kind of what we're going to get?
I hope not.
Daredevil and She-Hulk was just so bad, man.
But you got to.
Just in terms of like, you know,
I
how prevalent they were to the show.
I think he pops in a couple of episodes here and there, spaced out a little bit. I think he because it's, what is it, 24? It's 24.
Yeah.
It's 24 episodes. So I think we see him.
It's 73 episodes. Like,
No.
Yeah, I think.
How many episodes is this fucking show?
That might
Like,
change too, right? That might change. I could see that changing.
I think
That's a
we
lot
see
of
him-
episodes.
I think we see him pop in from time to time, maybe 5-6 times during the whole series.
Yeah, I mean, I think Daredevil's going to be a landing place for a lot of debuts and a lot of cameos, and I think they're setting it up from what we read early on. That's what it's kind of what they're setting it up as, like more of a Disney Plus shows really haven't been shows, right? They've just been like long format, like they should have just been movies. Like She-Hulk, whether you liked it or not, was more like a weekly show. It had a beginning, middle, and end of every episode. That's what Daredevil is going to be, I feel like. And they even said that. It was going to be like almost like a Daredevil fighting crime, like from week to week and with an overall arching story, but individual stories every episode.
So you're gonna be like a Marvel team up.
Yeah, maybe. That's a very good way of saying it, guy. I
about
think
that?
you're going to get a little bit of that. My last thing, I'll leave it at this, and you guys can answer if you want, or we could, just go move on. Is they knowingly brought in these characters, right? Specifically Charlie Cox and Jon Bernthal, to reprise their roles. You can't tell me that they don't, and Wilson Fisk, D'Onofrio, you can't tell me that they don't want the DNA of those characters that they previously portrayed. Number one, they have to want at least part of it. And number two, they can't expect it not to come out as these actors are doing these scenes, because that was in there. I mean, those series were like the Netflix Daredevil, like that's 40 plus hours. Forget about how many hours they shot of film, but that's 40 hours of episodes. Punisher is what, like 26 hours of, that's a lot of work, character work, for that to just be forgotten by that actor. That DNA is going to be baked in some way, shape, or form, and Marvel has to know that. So maybe while it won't be 100% away there, I can't see them being completely different characters. I don't see it just from a logistical standpoint.
That's why I said you're going to get somewhere in between, and they obviously they know what works.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Writing is on the
Wait,
wall.
who knows what works?
Yeah, I was about to
Well,
say,
the
Marvel,
Netflix.
I don't know about
The
that.
the Netflix series works.
Yeah, well, Marvel
Some.
doesn't know what works right now.
Some.
So
Had
the
they
Netflix
confirmed,
series.
is it going to be like, are they doing? They're doing the thing where it's like, oh, it's kind of the same continuity, but not really, right? Is that kind of what
right.
they've said?
Kind of.
So here's
There's
the thing.
there's a delay on Daredevil, right? By the way.
Everything's delayed, so I'm going to guess it is. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Here-
I'm just from
here-
what
here's
I've
the
gotten
thing.
from that guy. There's a delay, so
Here's the thing with these characters in the MCU now, right? And I said this 1,000 times. We just watched Wilson Fisk get beat up by Kate Bishop. Now, what happens when this guy fights the Punisher? I'm just curious. What happens?
I told you he was going easy because it was a girl.
Wilson Fisk don't go easy on anybody, right? That dude is fucking ruthless.
Not anymore. He learned his lesson.
It was the trick arrows. It wasn't Kate. It wasn't so much Kate Bishop. It was the trick arrows.
He was trying not to hurt her. He's like, get out of the way.
So we got Kate Bishop beating up Kingpin, and
Yep.
we have Shuri, a day with the Black Panther costume, beating up a mutant that's been fighting for centuries.
Yeah,
I don't
Namor.
know.
Yeah, very, very true. Good point. Oh my God, the crowd! You guys have been great tonight. A lot of, obviously we couldn't. There was so much to talk about. There's 4 of us. A lot of topics. A lot of comments. I know we couldn't get to them all, but We do appreciate them. We do kind of skim them as we're doing this. So we do appreciate that. Keep them coming. What else do we have? You're probably going to see us tomorrow. Well, you are going to see us. Just a matter of how many of us. Tomorrow night on Whatnot, our first show, giveaways. It's just going to be giveaways, guys. So if you want to check it out, it's going to be, we don't have an exact time right now because we're going to go between we got Erod starting off. We got Gary at 8:30 till about 10. He usually finishes like 5 to 10 minutes before 10 Eastern time. So we're going to sneak in as soon as he finishes, and then right before Davis Ryder. Davis Ryder usually goes on around 10:05. He's going to push to about 10:15. So we're going to do about 20 minutes just to kick things off on Whatnot, give 3 or 4 prizes away, bullshit a little bit more, maybe about some of these topics, something else that comes up tomorrow, and then get the hell out of there. So we'll do that a few times before we sell anything, but just to hang out, do some giveaways, give you guys some books. So links in the description, and the QR code's on the screen if you want to check that out. That'll be tomorrow night again, somewhere between right before 10 o'clock Eastern for about 20 minutes. So come hang with us. Even if you're not a Whatnot fan, I get it. If you're a Defect fan and you just want to hang out and get a giveaway, come hang with us. Anything else, boys, before we get out of here?
Enjoy the snow tomorrow.
Swag, what you got going on in the channel? Tell them where they can find you. The link to your channel is in the description besides the comic book. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, I got a YouTube channel. Talk some comic books from time to time. Swagglehaus is the name, probably in the description somewhere. Come check it out. And yeah, got the Kickstarter as well. So give that a look and see if it's something you're into. And other than that, it was a pleasure to be on the show.
Yeah, man, we really appreciate you coming on. Great insight always. Your videos are great. I don't get to watch a lot of the community's videos, but I definitely, you're one of the ones that I usually watch when something comes out. So I appreciate you coming on and sharing some insight with us. Thanks, boys and girls, for hanging out, chatting, hitting the like, subbing, putting comments in the chat. We love all that bullshit. If you're watching this on a rewind, put some stuff in the comments. Me and Jay and Guy always try to answer, thumbs up and all that good stuff. We'll see you tomorrow night, or we'll see you next Monday. Later, Defects.